It is your Classic Metal Show right here on the ClassicMetalShow.com. That's something brand new from the latest release from Accept. The Rise of Chaos. That is Die by the Sword, or in our case, if you live by ASCAP, you die by ASCAP. And kicking off the show tonight, we heard something from Ron Keel's band, just called Keel. And we heard Rock and Roll Animal. And I want to welcome to the mic our own rock and roll animal and the Hellspawn himself, Chris Aiken. What's going on, Chris?
Hello, kids. How are we?
We're back. We're back and ready to go again.
I know. We were great last week, according to some, but now it's a new week.
Yeah, I understand that. Well, we're great every week. We're just great.
To some people, we are.
Yeah, we're just great.
I guess we're going to test that in a couple weeks, aren't we?
Yeah. There's none better.
Nobody. Fuck that Eddie Trunk guy. It's all about us.
Yeah, pal.
Yeah, pal.
Well, I'm looking in the chat room, and, 5, 8, 10 minutes before the show starts, the place just starts filling up, and I don't do this very often, but I'm just going to throw a little shout-out to somebody. I want to say welcome to the Classic Metal Show chat room, Tobias from Germany.
Oh, wow. It's what, like 3 a.m. over there?
Yeah.
4 a.m.?
Yeah, he's up hanging out with us. So welcome, Tobias. It's good to have you enjoy the madness.
Yeah, let's not burn any Jews tonight there, Toby.
Yeah, really.
Please. Come on.
Yeah, seriously. But anyway, here we are. We're back on the Classic Metal Show, the middle of July already. Can you believe it?
This year is fucking flying.
It is flying. It seemed like it was winter forever, or at least not terrible winter, but cold. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden it got warm, and now we're halfway through the summer, and, in 6 weeks we're going to be into the fall already.
Yeah, well, this year can't end fast enough for me and quite a few people. 2017 has been the biggest bag of dicks I've ever had shoved in my mouth.
All right.
Ugh, fuck it. I hate it. You having a good year so far?
You know what? It's been, I got to be honest with you. I have not really had time to enjoy the year. I mean, I've attended a few shows and things this year, but it just seems for me like the days are flying by and my life has just been consumed with work. I've just been so busy at work, and, by the time I come home, I just feel exhausted.
It really is one of those years where it's like, do your day shit, watch some TV, repeat.
Yeah.
It hasn't been a year where there's been anything like really fun or super cool happening or anything. I mean, other than Loud and Lima next week.
Yeah, Loud and Lima next week. I took the day off from the job.
Okay.
And I'm going to drive over because we're only attending Friday, right?
Well, you are. I'm staying home.
Oh, you're not going at all?
Same day as my kid's chemo.
Oh, son of a bitch.
Yep. Oh. Same Friday as my kid's chemo.
Ah. Well, so, I'm driving over on Friday. I'll be there for the Friday show, and I'll spend the night in the dump known as Lima.
You're going to stay over?
Well, dude, by the time I get over there and see the shows and, hang out with the boys and, just socialize, you know how Dawn likes to stay up and talk till 3 a.m.
Yeah, but tired or not, it's Lima.
Yeah, I know, but I'm sure I'll have a good hotel.
Yeah, I was gonna say in another state. I'll be staying in Fort Wayne, but I'll be at the show in Lima.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Fort Wayne is nothing to write home about either.
Well, it's better than Lima.
It is better than Lima's, but yeah, I'm going to stay over, and then I'll hit the road Saturday morning and, head back home and give you a report on Saturday.
Sounds good.
Yeah, so.
Wish I was going. I'm definitely not thrilled that I'm not going, but what am I going to do? I won't even get my kid back to the house until like 7.
Oh.
So, I mean, it's a full fucking day.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, obviously, you got to take care of business at home, and I get that. I wasn't aware, though, that was the day. So
well, they changed it last week. Was it last week? Yeah, last week when they changed it up from Wednesdays to Fridays. Because when it was Wednesdays, I was like, okay, this will be cool. As long as there's not like a lot of puking going on, I can get the fuck out of here for a couple of hours.
Sure.
And sure as shit, they changed it to Friday. And then I didn't even think of it until one of the fans asked me if we were doing a show next week because of Loud and Lima. I was like, oh no, it's on Friday. Fuck.
Yeah.
It was that kind of thing where I was like, son of a bitch, not making it. So, yeah, I'll be looking for your YouTube videos so I can enjoy it.
Yeah, the Chrysophiles that wanted to come out are going to be disappointed.
Sorry, Chrysophiles. You'll have to deal with the Neely for another show.
Yeah.
But let's be honest. I like to deal with you guys online where I don't actually have to deal with you. Neely actually likes to shake hands and take pictures and shit.
Sure.
I really don't like any of you. I just like to pretend I do so that you'll keep listening.
Right.
That's what I do.
Right. Well, you're going to miss the opportunity to meet the Trunkster.
Well, I'm sure there'll be more of those because since he gets booked for every fucking show known to man.
Right.
I'm sure there'll be an LA gun show at a club here that he's fucking booked to promote or whatever.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, the one thing that I'm looking forward to, aside from just, going hanging out with the Dockin boys and, seeing maybe running into Ralph Saines because I haven't seen him in a few years. And
sure.
The potential of meeting Dee Snider.
Yeah, that'll be a good one.
Yeah, so that's kind of what I'm looking forward to. I'd like to say hello to Dee and maybe get a quick photo or something.
Won't you be disappointed if he's like a total dick to you?
Yeah, that would be disappointing.
He's like, what do you want, motherfucker?
I said, I met Dee Snider. Oh, yeah? What was that like?
He was a dick.
Yeah, no kidding.
Disappointed!
Oh. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't think so. I've seen Dee on so many things, and I've never heard anyone say, Dee Snider was a dick, man.
No, I've run into him in a few times, and I've told the one story where he sent me stuff, which was beyond cool as a kid, but even as an adult meeting Dee, he's always been super gracious and super nice. And, I don't think that you're going to run into him being a fucking dick.
Yeah. So
he's done it long enough to where, he puts on the smile, even if he's fucking miserable.
Yeah, of course.
He knows that.
Yeah. He is a consummate showman. So yeah, if I get an opportunity to run into Dee, that'd be cool.
Hell yeah, that'll be great.
Yeah. So anyway, anybody in the Northwest Ohio area next week, Loud and Lima on Friday and Saturday. I'm only going to be over on Friday. So come on out and enjoy all the hillbillies.
Yeah, wear armor and be strapped.
Exactly. All right. So anyway, are we having Ron Keel on tonight? I forgot to ask. I know you didn't mention to me or anything, and I know that there was some thought or some discussion that he wanted to come on and promote his new song. He
never hit me back to say if we were for sure doing it, so I'm going to say no this week, but I'll let him know he's got next week basically to come on before we can't play his dumb song. Yeah, oh yeah, he ASCAP too then, huh? Of course. All right. Well, if you haven't been following the show the last week or two, we've run into an issue. We've kind of run into a wall here where our affiliate, Uncontrolled Noise, has decided to cease operations after next week. And 2 weeks after the 20. Let me look at the calendar. It's the 31st, here. So it's 2 weeks, right? 29th will be the last CMS that we do. Right. Okay, so 2 weeks. 2 weeks from tonight. Right. Will be the last time the CMS will, be broadcast over Uncontrolled Noise, and then he's closing the doors after almost 25 years. Right. And, it's all due to music licensing and whatnot. And as most of you are aware, Uncontrolled Noise is the only affiliate that carries the Classic Metal Show, as well as our good friend Kendall Peters, Metal and Kendall, as well as our good friend Rod Kern, as well as Red and Jerry, and just everybody, the Hairball John archive shows, and so on and so forth. That's the end of that. So we are not seeking out another affiliate currently, unless maybe something came down the pike. Well, let's be fair to those that did offer, and say thanks. We did have a few offers this week about coming and doing something. One with a new station, and one with what is that one called? That metal station. Yes. James McCormick's station. Right, the Mind Over Metal or Mental Metal or something like that. Yeah. So we did have offers to do that, And you and I talked during the week early and just we fleshed it out and just kind of decided we don't want to do that.
Yeah. You know, if it may, you know, I'm not going to rule it out, but if somebody with a reputable, you know, a reputation as a online broadcaster came and made an offer or something, I would definitely consider it.
Right.
But at this point, that is not the direction we're going.
And to be clear, that's not shitting on the people that offered us either. It's just
too big of a gamble.
Yeah.
Not understanding all the rules and what, you know, because, and again, as Chris said, this is not shitting on the people who made the offer. It's just that we don't know all the ins and outs of broadcast licensing, and if somebody doesn't pay their licensing fee and we're broadcasting on there, we don't know if we could be held liable, say if they forgot to pay their licensing fee or something. So
right.
So that's the only reason we don't know.
We don't know. And you know, you and I did talk about it at length this week. I mean, I think we had the longest conversation we've had off the air in years.
Yes, that's correct.
You know, trying to figure out exactly what we're going to do. And, you know, we've hit this. This is the fourth time we've had this come up, you know, with this fucking licensing, which let's call it what it is. It is absolutely fucking gouging the little guy because the commercial stations are not fucking paying it.
Right.
They're just not paying it. So if you have an FM station, you're more than you can play anything you fucking want.
Right.
But if you're an actual, and the stations that we're talking about that play music that are getting fucked right now are little guys, are fans. They're fans of certain elements of music.
Right.
You know, I mean, this is not going to affect Justin Bieber, Beyonce, Lady Gaga, you know, none of that shit. This is going to affect Doc and Rat, Warrant, you know, anything on Frontiers Records.
Sure.
That's who's getting fucked, because now their music will not be known that they have new albums out there. It'll be forgotten, except coming out with an album in 2 weeks. People are going to miss it because people aren't going to hear it unless they're listening to Eddie Trunk or Sirius, which that number's going down by the day. You know, they're not going to know. And, you know, our decision, the more we talked about it, and you can jump in here anytime you want, dude, but you and I talked at length about it, and we really kind of thought, well, the music's not that important anymore,
right,
to the CMS. I know the name is still the Classic Metal Show, but it's not. I mean, we talk about music and bands, sure, but that's more because we have friendships with some of these guys,
right? And some of the stories are kind of interesting, you know. And sure. The thing is and I've said this on the show before, and I'll say it again. Even though the Classic Metal Show started over 21 years ago as a music-based show, it's more about the attitude. More about the fist in your face and the attitude as to how you approach, or at least Chris and I approach life. So it's sort of a metal attitude to how you view life in general. That's why it's the Classic Metal Show still.
Right. And plus, we're just not willing to change the name.
Yeah, I mean, 21 plus years of building on that brand. I mean, it's kind of late to change it now.
Hey! It's those wild guys. You know, no one wants to hear that.
No.
We don't want to start over. But we talked about it at length, and we just, you know, we play roughly between 12 and 15 songs in 6 hours.
Yeah, if that many. It comes out about 12 songs.
Yeah, it's like 2 songs an hour.
Yeah.
You know, and for 2 songs an hour, we had all kinds of options that we could have gone with. We're a talk show now. That is what we are. And Neely and I have both been very upfront for years saying that the songs are nothing more than the commercials. You know, they are just commercials for us. It's our chance to get a drink. It's our chance to take a piss. You know, that's what we use it for. It's not really to promote music per se.
Mm-hmm. Even though we still use the Classic Metal Show as a vehicle for bands to get the word out.
Sure. Sure. And where we can, we will. Still, we're still going to interview bands. We're not going to all of a sudden not interview bands. Like Stephen Piercy wants to call in, or Night Demon, or whoever. They can call in and we'll do an interview, but we're just not going to be able to play their shit.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, and we'll tell them that up front. We can't play your music. We can link to it on YouTube or whatever, but we can't, we're not going to be able to play the music.
Yeah, and we can't do it during the show. But then again, we don't run interviews during the show for the most part, right. Unless, of course, it's a live interview like Steven called last week, and, I played some stuff from his new disc. But we don't put the music with the interview via the Spreaker anyway.
Right.
But the interview section that would run on Uncontrolled Noise in the studio with the Classic Metal Show, we did play the music.
Right, but that's going away.
Yeah.
It's just the nature of it is it's going away. So as we talked through this week, we ran a lot of different scenarios, and we, I can't stress this enough to you guys how much we actually thought about what we're going to do, because, this is a major change. And, we obviously weighed the option of going to another station, and it just seems like a big fucking risk for something that is not focal to the show anymore.
Right.
So that kind of eliminated itself. So we thought about actually, turning this a little businessy and selling commercials, actually recording some commercials for the shirts, the hats, the gear, my books, other shit like that to play in between.
Perfect 7.
What?
Perfect
7. Yeah. Did you see the big Perfect 7 on the chat room? But yeah, we thought about doing commercials, and we kind of shut that down as well, because we don't want to turn this into a business. Not really. At least I don't.
Yeah. And we don't want to drive people away. Oh man, they're playing, 5 minutes of commercials again.
No, we don't want to do that. We don't want to make the show less good. So we kind of evaluated it, and we thought about it, and I reached out to some bands, and I looked through my collection, and I got with you on your collection, and we have a lot of music that we can still play.
Right.
And we have the ability to get more. The one thing that's probably unique to our show versus most of the other shows, and I'm not saying this to brag, I'm just saying it to be honest, is that we have a big platform now. And because we have a big platform, because we have 30,000 listeners a week or whatever the number is, we have the opportunity to do something that I've wanted to do, and I know you have too, for a long time, which is really help some bands that are not getting any kind of love, help them get some exposure.
Right.
And when you and I were talking, I pointed to Red Rain as a perfect example of what I would like to see us do with the show, because they're nobody. I mean, they're not nobody. They're friends or whatever, but in the rock world, they're nobody.
Right.
But on this show, they're a fucking band.
Yeah, people love them.
People love them. People know them. People have bought their music. People have learned about them from the show. And there's a lot of good. How much music did I send you this week? 50 albums?
Yeah, that's where I was going to put it, about 50 albums. So, I'm sure I could pick 12 songs a week out of just that group alone. But, there's more to come. And, you pointed out that, we're not going to be able to play familiar music, because
right.
If we get some bootleg live recordings that are not licensed, we can play, some of the hit stuff.
Yeah.
But it's going to be live, and it's going to be non-licensed live stuff.
Yeah, of course. And I, for my entire existence of being a music fan, have been collecting soundboard audio bootlegs for as long as I can remember seeing them, back when I was a kid going to Spinmore Records in Kent.
Right.
Buying them on fucking albums. My first one was a Motley Crue. I had a Motley Crue 1984 bootleg album, an actual, album. So from 84 till today, I've been collecting this soundboard stuff. So I have tons and tons and tons. So the specter of you're not going to hear any whatever Guns N' Roses or Queensryche or Motley or whatever, and you have Dokken and you have a bunch of bootlegs too.
I do have a bunch of bootlegs.
So a lot of our bands that we normally play, we will still play some. So it's not going to be totally okay. Here's a bunch of shit you've never heard before, and we don't know if it's good or not. And it's stuff. I spent the entire week doing nothing but listening to music. Literally uploaded all of it onto my cloud and just played music that I didn't know all week, and just listened to stuff. And I don't know if you guys like what I listen to or don't like what I listen to, but, I kind of went into it judging it from, does it have good recording quality?
Right.
I'm not necessarily making a judgment on saying, well, this band is awesome or this band sucks, so we won't play it, because everybody has different taste. But the stuff that we will play will not sound like it was recorded. It won't sound like that new fucking Quiet Riot bullshit. It'll sound way more professional than that fucking Road Rage bag of shit.
Right.
It'll sound better. And that's kind of what we're going for is that stuff. Of course, Phil Ooze, we will be playing Randy Trask and the Buds.
Right.
Now, when I'm talking quality, I start with Randy Trask and the Buds.
Right.
Which ironically does sound better than that fucking shitbag Road Rage.
Live in Randy's Basement 2014.
Tim James. Will we play Tim James music?
No.
Yeah, I don't think so. No Tim James. But we will. I'll tell you what we will play of fans of the show. We will play Jan Patrick from Finland.
Yeah.
Those are good songs.
Yeah, who would have thought that Jan, was as talented as he is?
Yeah, I mean, and he did the shit with what, Sean Drover or somebody?
Yeah, that's what I understand.
So those are good songs. He sent us 4 songs this week, and they're all solid.
Sure. So,
is it going to be different? Yeah, it's going to be a little bit different. But we'll do what we can to promote the bands, and unlike fucking stupid Moose Rev, we'll actually tell you who the bands are, so that you have an idea, if you like something, where to look them up, or, go to Spotify and hear them on Spotify or whatever. But that's what we're going to do. We're, could we potentially find us a station or something to go to? Yeah, we could. But you know what? This is going to come back again. Before long, one of these stations, it's only going to take one of these stations to get sued, and all of it's going to close.
Right.
And, it's weird because, I don't know, did I forward you the email that Corey sent this week?
No.
Corey sent this email to me and Kendall and Rob and I think other people, but I know us 3 all got it. Almost like apologizing, like he had failed us. And we were like, dude, what did you do wrong? It wasn't him that did anything wrong. He fucking was doing it the right way. In a way, while I do agree with the mighty thought of fuck ASCAP and BMI and CSAC right in their dick hole, the real fucking criminals here is that fucking stream licensing company.
Yeah, I agree.
Because they're the ones that didn't pay the blanket licensing. And now there's nobody else out there to provide that licensing. And after ASCAP and whatever got fucked, they're not going to go out of their way to help anybody.
No, of course not.
They're just out to squeeze pennies out of a dying fucking turnip. That's what they're doing.
Yeah.
And it's going to kill bands like this.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what you think of this, but I honestly believe that this move, and not just because of us, but because of a lot of different shows that are going under because of this, you are going to see these bands are going to go to towns, and they're going to play to less people, and they're going to make less money because there's going to be less people that even know they're out there.
Yep.
Look, Eddie Trunk is going to be it. If you don't hear Eddie Trunk, you are not going to know these bands exist anymore. Right?
I would agree, unless, of course, YouTube is still a pretty big outlet for a lot of this music. And these bands uploading, videos of their new, release. I saw LA Guns released a new song, yesterday or today?
Yeah, that's a pretty good song.
Yeah, it's not bad. Phil Lewis is still amazing.
He sounds great.
He sounds just like he did 30 years ago.
Yep, and he has that high-pitched voice that you would expect to have gone to shit, but he sounds good.
Yeah, so there you go. Obviously they're signed to Frontiers Records, who has a little bit of money to help promote that kind of a thing. But outside of that, if a band doesn't promote their stuff via YouTube or, obviously social media is a big deal. But as far as a active show, radio show, streaming show of some kind, there's a high probability, unless you're actually out there looking for it, you're not going to know about it.
Yeah, I guess the Spotify or whatever, if you have your discovery thing set up so that, and you use that, which I never do, but I guess if you use that, you might find out that there's new music or something out there. But I don't know, man. I see it as a bad time for national bands. Heritage bands are going to get squeezed out, and as the business continues to turn. That's why I'm like, in my head, this is almost like when we decided to do podcasting.
Right.
Remember when we decided to do podcasting, and no one was doing it.
No, and for us, until we got it down to a science, and mostly you, because you're the one who did it. We had to learn how to cut the show up, how to do the breaks to where it wasn't too difficult to cut it up.
Right, and writing all that code. Oh my God! And that's back then. You had to write code.
Yeah.
Back then I used to have to download an XML file every week, and then I had to write code. For every stupid fucking podcast.
Sure.
It was a bitch. It was a total fucking. It was my whole Sunday.
Yeah.
That's what I did on Sunday, was wrote the code, cut the show and wrote the code. It took me like 6-7 hours.
Yeah, no wonder your wife hated the show and me.
Well, no, I'm sure that wasn't it.
I'm sure that was it. You're taking away from our quality family time.
Oh, I'm quite sure it had something to do with her being a cunt.
Nice. Well, I want to know what our friend Kendall is going to do. Is she going to end her Metal and Kendall show? Is she, seeing if she could get that carried by somebody else?
I believe, and she's free to call or say in the chat room or whatever, but I believe she said she's done. She's done.
Wow. That's sad, because I was checking out her show on a weekly basis, and she was started to get, pretty adept at doing her show.
Yeah.
And, I'd hate to see that end just because of licensing.
Well, and look, Kern too. Rob's got commercial stations.
Yeah.
He's got FM stations. And he just said, fuck it. He said he told me he's going to take off the summer. Because I even asked him. I said, dude, have you talked to these guys? Because I gave him the names of the two stations that, were talking to me. And I said, check with them. You got a quality thing. He's like, not wanting to do it. And I was like, okay. But, it just sucks, dude. It sucks for everybody else. I think we, because of the nature of our show, we are probably the least affected.
Yeah.
But it's just dumb luck that we're the least affected.
Well, everything happens for a reason.
Okay, Nostra Neely.
Yeah, that's me. Nostra Neely.
Nostra Neely.
Yeah. Well, if Corey is listening tonight and he wants to come on the show and, kind of give us an update, I want to know about the fees. I want to know what kind of money we're talking about here.
He said he might call in later, if not later next week, because he's got some family shit going on right now.
I get it. But, I'm just kind of interested because, I know what I put out of pocket for this show, just for equipment and, internet and various other, Spreaker and making shirts and stuff, which, by the way, I appreciate everybody who's placed orders in the last week or so. I've gotten quite a few orders for shirts. Good. If you're waiting on your shirt and you haven't received it yet, it's not that I haven't received, I haven't sent them out because I'm out of stock right now. That's That's
What?
I got Sammy Lee. He's on the case. I'm expecting a shirt order maybe next week.
You sold 8,000 shirts in the last week?
Yeah. I keep about 50 shirts of various sizes in stock at all times.
Okay.
So I'm out of various sizes. I've got like larges left. I'm out of extra large. I'm out of mediums. I'm out of the 4X. So I'm out of different size shirts. So if you've ordered a shirt and haven't received it yet, I will get your shirt out as soon as I get my new order.
I got to say, I'm proud of my fat brothers for buying up all the 4Xs. Thank you, fat guys.
And our good friend, Aussie Ace over there in Australia.
Yes.
He sent over a PayPal of a significant amount of money.
Okay.
To purchase 4 CMS hats.
Okay.
And Perfect 7.
Yeah.
So
when you say significant, you're talking hundreds?
Hundreds.
Like more than 100?
Yes, hundreds of dollars. Hundreds of dollars.
To get Perfect 7.
To get Perfect 7 and 4 CMS hats. So the first thing that come to mind, what comes to mind?
Yeah, what comes to mind, Natalie?
It's like, dude, go shit in your hat.
Too much. He really wants that. Didn't you send him some already or not?
No,
yet?
he wanted it. I sent him shirts. I sent him 4 CMS shirts or three or 4 CMS shirts.
Yeah.
And as soon as I get another shirt in, because I guess one of the shirts was defective, it didn't have the CMS logo and stuff on the back.
Okay.
So I'm going to send him a replacement as soon as I get my order in. But regardless of that, Aussie Ace sent plenty of money for Perfect 7 and CMS hats.
Yeah. Are you going to autograph the Perfect 7 for him?
Yeah, I'll autograph it. Take a dump on me.
There you go. Well, I just got this message in the through the Facebook, and we can answer with the interesting way we can say that we don't know. Just curious, how much is it to play music? Is it a yearly payment?
I think it's a monthly payment. Because, well, at least last time that I did it, it was a monthly payment.
If I'm not mistaken, the way it is supposed to work is that it is the number of songs times the number of listeners,
right,
times a fee.
Right.
So they take your average from the last month or whatever, kind of like the electric company.
Yeah,
right?
they track your music, they track the number of listeners, and they bill you accordingly.
Right.
And it never fluctuated much more than, for me anyway, Corey was a much bigger station than the CMS radio network ever was,
right.
But it only fluctuated for me personally about $5 one way or the other.
Right. But for us, we were, what was it, like $60 a month?
Yeah, it was just shy of $60 a month.
But we only had like 20 listeners during the week, and then like 1,000 on Saturday.
Yeah, that's basically it.
You know, that's how it all worked out.
Plus, we ran the archive shows in their entirety, music and all.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, so it's a monthly fee. They just bill you according to your listeners, the number of tune-ins you had, and the number of songs that you played that are that are billable.
Yeah, Corey just texted me. Let me see what he said. He said, there is a minimum fee, and then you hit your TLH, which is total listening hours.
Right.
So at a minute, it's definitely like the way the corporate cocksuckers do electric, and at least for the pinball place. Like for us at the pinball place, if we turn on a light, it's $80. But then if we, throughout the course of the day, once we pass $80, then it goes past $80 with the power.
Right.
So that's how that works at the pinball place. Sounds like that's how they do it there too.
Sure.
Criminals.
Yeah. So, again, I have not corresponded with Corey, so I don't know what kind of money we're talking here. But for guys that are independent like us, and we're not out there, shilling everything in the book, mm-hmm. and we do this out of a, desire and a passion for broadcast, this comes directly out of our pockets.
Right.
And it is a hobby, yes, but it is also and I don't like to put the word on it, but it's a business.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess. I mean, for you it is.
I mean, I have an LLC, which the CMS is protected under.
Right.
So, I have the CMS Enterprises LLC.
Right. Isn't that just in case we get sued?
Yeah, well, yeah, that's the only reason I have it, because they can't come after me personally unless they pierce the corporate veil or something. Right. But, it's just a necessary evil.
You see some assholes suing us and taking your box of shirts.
Yeah, exactly.
That's about all they would take. What else would they get?
Well, we're taking all your equipment too, pal.
No, that's your personal equipment.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Well, I bought it under I take a tax deduction, off of my corporate taxes.
Well, then you just need to make sure that half of the equipment is quote unquote missing.
Yes.
Don't tell them where I am.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, there's a lot to it. There's some hoops to jump through. It's not, we don't just come on the air and flip a switch every week and go, okay, we're broadcasting now. There's a lot of setup involved here, especially from my end.
Yeah, there is.
So, and I'm not saying that because I'm looking for sympathy or say, oh man, it's cool. I'm just telling you how it goes.
Yeah. So donate to our Patreon page.
Yeah.
That worked well. What did we get? Like $10?
Yeah,
once?
$10.
That was great. I don't even think I have that on the website anymore.
Nah. I don't like begging for money. I just don't like it. I don't like it.
Remember, we put it up because Bob now Bandy and told us he fucking bugged us about it forever.
Yeah, he said you should do that, man. People throw some money your way, and it's like okay, let's try it. And then it's like nobody jumped in there. It's like fuck that.
And in fairness, we didn't exactly ask for it.
No,
either.
of course not.
That's our big problem. Neither one of us wants to do the bullshit that everybody does in front of their podcast. Neither one of us wants to say, hey, this podcast is sponsored by Patreon. Why don't you go over to our Patreon page and donate something?
Yeah, this podcast is brought to you by Burger King. Get 2 of your Burger King sandwiches. 2 for 1 this week, Eddie Trunk.
Yeah, this show costs money, so you should help us out by going over and donating on our PayPal link. Ugh, horrible.
No, I don't want to do that.
Me either. That just sucks.
Yeah, I agree. But that's where we're at. So for those of you who listen to us via uncontrolled noise every week, you got 2 weeks to change your listening habits.
Yeah, or stay there for the 2 weeks. And, after 2 weeks, make sure you go over to theclassicmetalshow.com. And I have all the links updated already for all the different styles, whether it's a Windows player or whether it's a Winamp or iTunes or whatever the fuck you use to listen, VLC, whatever it is, mobile. It's all linked right up at the very, very tippy top of the page.
Sure.
So.
And before we go to break here.
Yes.
What's the story with SoundCloud? I saw you sent me a link of the story where it says they have enough money to operate for 50 days or something like that.
Yeah, they're running out of money.
Yeah.
So they're running out of more because I canceled it. I looked, you know what? It seemed like a good idea when I signed up for it. And I didn't mind paying. I mean, it wasn't expensive or anything. It was like $15 a month. Yeah. So it wasn't like it was like crazy expensive or anything like that.
Somewhere along the way, somebody told you or you had heard that they're a pretty reputable or they're the popular platform. Yeah. And apparently it's not so much.
Not for us anyway. I mean, I looked every single week. And I think the most plays we ever had at all on SoundCloud was 60.
Right.
And most weeks it was like 6, 8, 4. It's hard to Steve Jackson. He loves SoundCloud. Steve Jackson's probably the only one there using our SoundCloud page.
Yeah.
So whatever. There's 15 other ways to get the fucking show.
Yeah. I mean, the Spreaker is just like SoundCloud.
Yeah, Spreaker, iTunes, TuneIn, iHeart. The show is there on every one of those platforms.
Yeah.
Every segment. So you can get it. You just go to a different one.
Yeah. Well, I've never used SoundCloud, like because I was searching out something. I only used it to try it out because we were on it. Mm-hmm. But I looked at it, played it, went, nothing so special.
Yeah, it just, I don't know, it felt like Audacity to me. I mean, I was not a fan of it per se, but it just seemed like that for a minute it was popular, but clearly they ain't making any money, and even more clearly they're going to go out of business, and I don't want to be one of those that just, oh, fuck, now what do we do? So I dumped it. We're making changes anyway, might as well make the changes,
Right, I agree.
So yeah, SoundCloud out.
Yeah. No big deal.
Yeah.
So
I don't think we've ever had a call saying, yeah, I was listening on SoundCloud and you guys are fucking hilarious.
Yeah. Nah, it's either YouTube or Spreaker or iTunes.
Yeah.
Those are our most popular ones.
Yep, exactly.
So
look at Eddie Rocks posting that video of me asking people to donate to
the show. Donate to the Classic Metal Show.
Look at my short hair.
Yeah, look at you.
I had short hair in that picture.
Yeah, no kidding.
My hair's got to be like 6 inches longer than that now.
Donate to the show, man. Open up your wallets and your hearts.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. I don't know. The whole money thing,
We tried it. We just suck at it. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. You and I are just not comfortable begging for money.
Yeah, I'm just not a shill. I just can't go out there and just, hey, give me some cash, man.
And you know what? If we were indeed like the Michael Butlers of the world that just have no fucking money, that would be one thing. But we both make good money. I mean, as far as making a living,
yeah,
neither one of us needs this to make a living.
Yeah.
We don't need somebody to buy Perfect 7 to fucking make sure we can pay our mortgage.
Sure.
That's just not how this works. So this is just our fuck around. For me, I know you're a little more serious about it than I am, but for me, this is just my fuck around to get away from work for a little while.
Well, same with me. And, I enjoy the fact that the fans tune in every week and like what we do.
Yeah. But I am not going to go every break or every segment or put a commercial in front of the podcast that says, hey, this segment brought to you by blah, blah, blah. I don't like that we sell the commercials through the advertising thing every once in a while.
Sure.
I really don't like that either. I do it because there are people that want to do it, I guess, but I don't like that either. Hey, this drum company, what was that drum thing?
Yeah.
We'll give you drum sounds. Okay. Fine. Whatever. It's just not us.
Nah, not at all. Yeah. All right. Let's see here. I thought I'd seen a request in the chat room there early. I think Eddie Rocks threw a request in there. He wanted to hear it.
I know Steve Jackson tweeted a request earlier, and I did see it. He wants to hear These Days from Enough's Enough.
Okay. Well, let's play that.
That's on Animals.
Let's play some Enough's Enough while we still can.
All right.
Yeah, let's play that, man.
I wonder if some of their stuff might be on the table.
I don't know. Maybe we can, finally smoke Chip out of his place over there and say, hey, what's your thoughts? What's your thoughts on all this nonsense?
Right.
I mean, is this something that concerns you at all? I mean, it's not like Enough's Enough is burning up the charts or anything, but still.
Hey, brother, play whatever you'd like. It's all good with me, my brother.
Sure. And that's about what he would say as well.
Of course he would. He'd be like, I'll come and sing all these songs for you so you have them. Just keep playing the band, man.
Yeah. Playing that Enough's Enough.
Yep.
All right, let's play a couple of tunes. Let's get a drink. Let's get settled in, and then we'll get to it.
All righty.
All right, here's Enough's Enough. This is for Steve Jackson. What was the one he wanted to hear?
These Days.
These Days. Oh, there it is. All right. And of course, it's spelled D-A-Z-E.
Right, because that's hipper.
Yeah, because I'm sure Chip was kind of dazed at the time when he wrote it.
Right.
All right. Let me see here. What do we got? Enough's enough. All right.
Want me to just do the ID?
No, I got it.
I was going to say, I could just do it.
I got it. All right. Here's Enough's Enough exclusively here
on your Classic Metal Show.
Hey, this is Chip from Enough's Enough, and you're listening to Neely, my brother, on the Classic Metal Show.